Hey everybody out there, what's going on? My name is Nick Curcio, and today I'm going to take you through how Furman University runs its news channel. For those of you who don't know me, as I said before, my name is Nick Curcio, and I am the production executive for the Furman University news channel. And today we're going to kind of take you behind the set of how we run our show every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday night. So as you can see here, we're just getting a couple of final things set up before the show actually starts. And without further ado, I'm going to take you around the studio and show you what we have going on. So, for context, this is in the Communication Studies Department of Furman University. This is a private studio that we get to use to record the news every night, and it's also where faculty, Professor Mary Sturgill, has her office, is in charge of all the equipment, but every night we get to use this for our news show. Oh, and we have our first viewer, Ralph and Mary Grace Curcio. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And when you guys drop by, make sure to say where you're from. And even if you're watching in the comments afterwards, make sure to tell us where you're from. Facebook is a very large platform, and we got people from all over the place. But without further ado, let's get this started. So if we walk through the studio here real quick, so you can see behind me, we have our stage and our set, which is over there, and our cameras, which are right behind me. So let's go ahead and start by talking to our lovely hosts, who are behind the desk real quick. What's going on, guys?
Hello, we're doing great. How are you?
So these are our two hosts for tonight. This is Annalise, and this is Eric. But they don't just host for the Furman News Show.
No.
You guys also do some behind-the-scenes stuff as well. Do you guys want to tell everyone watching about what exactly it is you do?
Yeah.
I'll let you go first.
Okay, so I go online and I go on the news or on the sports page and on SyncedIn and a bunch of other websites and find all the COP sports things, anything that's happening on campus, and I submit it for the announcements. And then those things get picked and chosen by someone else, and they get put on the announcements. So I organize all of that along with Dan.
So you kind of collect news for us to present on the show tonight. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. And then Eric, what is it that you do for the channel?
Hi, I'm the host manager, which basically means I have the easiest job here. I just make sure that there's two of us every night and they're ready to go.
And what an easy night it is, because we have the man who's supposed to be the
man, the myth, the
here,
legend himself,
and another member of the Funk staff.
Yep.
That's awesome, guys. So make sure to drop a thumbs up and a heart down in the chat if you want to show some love to Annalise and Eric. Now with these guys out of the way, let's take a little bit of a tour around the rest of the studio. As you can see behind me, these guys are going to be looking at 3 different cameras, just like a traditional news setup. And each of these cameras has a teleprompter on it, which is going to project the news that they are going to read off. Now they're going to start the show looking at the camera right here, and then when they go to their individuals, Eric is going to turn to face that camera, and Annalise will be looking at that camera. So it looks like just like your 5 o'clock news would look, where you go back and forth between one anchor and another anchor. Oh, and look who's this who just came around the corner. This right here, everybody, is Charlie Lott. This is the man who runs Funk. He is my boss, and he is the man who makes the Furman University News Channel happen. Is there anything you would like to say to the watching audience?
Thanks for joining us for tonight's show. Should be a good one. Second to last of the semester.
Second to last of the semester, that's right. We are almost closing it out. And now, is there anything special we're doing for the show tonight?
For tonight's show, I think it's pretty straight. Well, we're doing the recording here. We recorded some audio for our season 4, second semester of this school year. Some audio for our intro clip. We're doing the song King Kunta by Kendrick Lamar, and we're doing some little audio clips from all of the people, from Eric and Annalise and myself and Nick and a bunch of other people. So we did some recording for that.
Yeah, that's very true. Just for a little bit of context, we do a new season of Funk every semester, so we're already getting ready for the next season. If you guys are excited for that, make sure to stay tuned and to check out everything that the Furman University News Channel has happening on campus. You can find us on YouTube at that address. So that's just a little bit of how we run the front of house. Oh, wow, we got some more viewers in here. What's going on, guys? Make sure to let everybody know where you're from. See where the live stream audience and the replay audience are all from, so we can all kind of get connected over our passion of news. So where we are right now is the control room. This is the mothership. This is where everything in the show happens and where the magic is made. And we have 2 lovely members of the staff back here. We have Ethan and Dan. Do you guys want to talk a little bit about what you do for the people who are watching live?
Yeah, I run the switchboard, changing between shots and video clips, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm. And this is the switchboard over here, right? So you see we got the shots right here, and then this baby right here is the TriCaster. This is the absolute monolith of a beast that we use to switch back and forth between. So if you can see, if I switch this little lever right here, and I pull that down, it switches over to the shot of them there, and it queues up the next shot for us to be ready to go. So that's what Ethan's going to do for us tonight. And then over here, we have Dan, who's
Hello,
another member
guys.
of the Funk staff. Do you want to tell everyone what it is you do?
Yeah, so usually for recordings, I usually run through script, kind of get them so they're getting through their lines. And then outside of the recordings, I'm usually the one that grabs all of the submissions, so all the announcements going on campus, and put it into our Funk app, which you should all download, by the way. And get that so that way we have it not only for our hosts, but also on our apps in the form of calendar so everybody can check it out.
Yes, that's awesome. So you and Annalise share the same job, am I correct in saying that?
Yes, that is correct. We both do the announcements. We kind of try to work as evenly as possible and efficiently to get those up there on the Funk app and through the scripts.
Fantastic. And Kim Curcio, thanks for tuning in to the live stream. We got a couple more people in here, so make sure to say hi to each other down in the comments and to tell us what job you think is the most interesting that we've went through. We've gone through a couple different things. We have people who gather the announcements. We have the showrunners. We have the people who run the switchboard. We have the people that are running the teleprompters for the scripts. And we have also what I do. What I do is basically I make sure that the show is running smoothly and that everything's set up. And then afterwards, I'll take the footage that we shoot tonight and edit the show. So before we get ready to roll, I want to show you guys one more piece of equipment that we have over here. And this is where we run our script. So basically, this is the part where it's a little bit more like a university news show and a little bit less professional, but it gets the job done nonetheless, where we use a Google Doc and we have a mirroring software hooked up to the teleprompters that I showed you guys before. So while the hosts are reading the news, Dan is going to go ahead and scroll through the announcements so they can keep up to date with what's reading, so they don't have to have any kind of papers in front of them and fumbling through. It helps kind of give the professional environment of a real news studio on a college campus. So without further ado, I think Charlie is almost ready to run the show out there. So he's going to be running the cameras tonight. He's going to be making sure that all the shots are angled up. And if there's any problems, Ethan will communicate that to him. And Dan will also communicate that to him if there's any issues with the announcements or any of the shots. So if you guys are excited to see the news show start to run this live, make sure to drop the heart in the chat so that we all know that you guys are watching and that you're super excited about this. All right, I think we're about ready to go. Charlie, are we ready to go? Are we ready to go, Charlie? Yeah, let's do it. Ethan, are we ready to go?
Yeah.
Dan, are we ready to go?
We're good to go.
All right, y'all. I'll be commentating throughout, but this is a really cool thing. I'm actually going to turn the camera this way so that we can all see the show through the glass and watch Ethan do all of his switching stuff.
Whenever you're ready.
Whenever they're ready, they're about to start the show.
All right, let's get this rolling. 30 seconds.
Do you want to put those up for you? So you put some
For context, by the way, we now have the microphones of the hosts muted while the show runs, so Charlie can communicate the time to them. So in about 5 seconds, we'll cue the audio in.
10 seconds.
Look at Charlie being a goon.
5,
This man's just out here dancing.
3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to Funk. Today is Friday, December 6th, 2019. I'm Annalise.
And I'm Eric. The weather for today will be cloudy with a high of 59 and a low of 41.
Furman Theater will be hosting.
So if you can just see right there, Charlie gave them the cue to switch, so that now they're facing their individual cameras, just like how a traditional news show would run this. If you guys think that that's really cool, drop a like in the chat and tell me what it is that you think makes the news show run the best. Is it the teleprompter? Is it the script? Oh, and I think we have our first hiccup. I think Annalise just had a little hiccup in the line, so Charlie's going to run it again, and then I will edit that out after the show.
Special third show titled Muse this semester. This new and original play, written and directed by Furman students Cami Stillwell and Matthew Middleton. It will be in the Playhouse studio from today until Saturday at 8 p.m. For tickets, email furmanoft@gmail.com.
If any of you guys are on Furman University's campus and want to check out that show, let me know if you're excited in the chat for that.
Regulation is looking for students who would be willing to take an online survey. If you are interested and would like to earn $5 in cash or credits for your psychology class, you can use the QR codes posted around campus to take the survey. If you have any questions, please contact Dr. Lundquist.
Yes, that's right. Even with the semester winding down, we still have research going on campus.
This is a landmark of Western musical culture and the most popular Ontario. This is a capstone project for the music students and includes numerous students, soloists, choir, and orchestra.
The Love Feast is a cultural celebration seeking to strengthen the bonds of the Christian community. It is based on shared feast traditions begun in the early Church. The Love Feast at Furman's Daniel Chapel celebrates...
So for context, in case you guys saw what Charlie was doing right there, is that he's trying to keep up with the announcement so he can tell the hosts when to turn back to the second camera. So his head is out of the shot, but he can still see what's being said on screen. I think we've had another restart from Eric, but again, that's not a big deal. These guys have been doing this for a long time. We're all professionals here, and we can cut that out in post.
The Love Feast at Furman's Daniel Chapel celebrates the Christian season of Advent, the time of anticipating the Christ child, through the singing of hymns and songs of love and harmony. This CLP will be held in the chapel main sanctuary on Sunday from 5 to 6 p.m.
Furman Jazz will be hosting its combo recital on Sunday from 8 to 10 p.m. in Daniel's Recital Hall. The group will perform songs from Miles Davis, Wayne Shorter, Herbie Hancock, and selections from the Great American Songbook. The performance is free and open to the public.
And now it's time for...
So those sound like some great announcements to everyone listening. Do me a favor and comment down below what you thought your favorite announcement was. Was it one of the music was? Was it what the psychology department was doing? Was it what the theater department was doing? Feel free to let me know. And right now we've just moved into the sports recap section of the show. So what we're doing now is we're having the hosts run through what has gone on in sports in the week, and we'll add some graphics for this in post-production.
At 5 p.m.
And now for this week in the news.
And now we're moving on to our final segment of the show. This is where we talk a little bit less about Furman news and more about Greenville news and what's going on in the rest of the world. And Jennifer Ramos, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for kind of checking out how the Furman University News Channel works.
Rages on between Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, Pete Buttigieg, Andrew Yang, and only 10 others.
A U.S. rule that requires people seeking visas to provide all social media information is the subject of a new lawsuit. It is accused of being an unconstitutional form of monitoring imposed by the Trump administration.
There was a high-speed chase of a hijacked UPS truck in none other than the great and stable state of Florida. Unfortunately, it ended in gunfire with 4 people confirmed dead.
That's all we have for today, Paladins.
And now they're about to go back and wrap up the show with the final announcements and a little call to let people know where we have stuff going on.
You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and download the Funk mobile app to keep up with everything that's happening on Furman's campus. Happy studying, and tune in again on Monday for our last episode of the semester.
And that is this episode of the news done. Now I asked you guys a little bit about those Furman announcements that we had at the beginning about what we had going on campus, but at the end there we had some sports stuff and some bigger news stuff going on, everything from U.S. politics to crazy stuff happening in Florida. So do me a favor, and if you're still watching, do me a favor and comment down below what you thought was one of the most interesting announcements that we had from either the sports recap or the This Week in the News. Was it the Florida story? Was it what's going on with the Trump administration? Was it what was going on with Furman football? Do feel free to let me know. And if you thought that that newscast went really well, do me a favor and drop the heart down in the chat. How's everybody feeling about the show, y'all? Hey! Well done, well done, well done.
Eric.
Yeah.
All right, so now what these guys are going to do, I'm going to join them in a second, but what we're going to do now is we're going to take down the studio and we're going to get it set back up for classes tomorrow and for people to come in to use the studio and to work on whatever video projects they're working on. I know that we have a bunch of digital communications students who are trying to wrap up their final projects for their exam, so we want to make sure that the studio is in top shape for them to do what they need to do. And as we wrap up here, I just want to thank you all so much for joining me on this Facebook Live. Oh, thank you very much, Ralph and Mary Grace, for showing us this was very well coordinated. I appreciate you guys sticking around for the whole thing and being along on the journey for us to see how Furman University runs this news channel. But before I leave you guys, I want to remind you to check out Furman University News Channel online. As was said in the show, you can see us online at www.can'tstopthefunk, spelled FUNC.com. You can also find us on our YouTube channel, which is also spelled FUNC. And that's also the name of our Twitter, of our Instagram, and of our Facebook. So if you guys want to check out any of those, feel free to do so. And also, if you're still watching, do me a favor and drop down in the comments what your favorite social media platform is, or what platform you think you'd watch the news on. Would you watch it on Facebook? Would you watch it on Instagram? Would you watch it on Twitter? And with that, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up this Facebook Live. It has been lovely to have you all on here. Make sure not just to follow the Furman University News Channel, but to follow me at Nick Curcio, Curcio, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube, as well as on Spotify. I'm also going to have some new music coming out soon, so stay tuned for that. Thank you all for coming along with the Furman University News Channel, and make sure to stay awesome. See you all, guys.